What's up, y'all? I just finished watching Ron Rivera interview, and in that interview, he was talking about Emmanuel Forbes, and we all know he's been struggling in the last two games, and ever since the AJ Brown game, you can notice really a huge difference in him when he played against the Bears last night. Like you can notice that he didn't have the same confidence he had when he was going against the Broncos, for example. Like his the way he was tackling, he missed a few tackles. I think it was probably about three tackles he missed, and he didn't have that same drive. And it wasn't just him; it was a lot of other people. But you can tell he wasn't the same. Like he didn't have that same fire that he had before, and you could tell he's lost some confidence in himself, and that's honestly coming from the game from the Eagles and how he let them get 100 and something yards, and I think two touchdowns. And man, it's rough in the NFL. Like people think you just gonna come from college and just be the best as soon as you get here, and it's not that easy. And you know, even Eric Bieniemy is a great example of a person that could possibly think they was gonna do the same thing that they did in college in the NFL. Like Eric Bieniemy was a Heisman Trophy winner. Like he won the Heisman, and as a running back. And when he came to the league, he didn't put up that many yards. He had a nice career, but he didn't put up that many yards per season. And he wasn't very memorable, but it's just a prime example of what happens when you come to the NFL. You could be the greatest college player, you could be the greatest high school player, but when they get to the NFL, you going against the best of the best. Like you can't just do the same stuff no more. There's people fighting for their livelihood. Like people get paid to do this. So some of them people are trying to do it to the best of their ability. Like you'll see people even go out there injured just because they know they got bills to pay. And people think like, oh, just because you got a lot of money, you should be able to be fine if you don't make a lot of money. Like, or you should just be fine or content with the money that you have. But people don't understand that when these people become famous and become big names, big household names, they gotta spend that same amount of money because one, they can't live just in a regular neighborhood. They can't, because it'd be dangerous for them. People will be trying to rob them all the time. But the thing they have to go do is go out and buy that $1 million house, like, because they know that in that $1 million house, it's not gonna be around everybody, or they might even have to buy a $2 million, $3 million house because that area is not gonna have the same type of people in it. Like celebrities, they can't just live in the same areas. They just can't. They just can't. You well known and people crazy, and Emmanuel Forbes, man, and honestly, he has a lot. If you just think about what his life consists of, he got like a lot of brothers and sisters, and everybody depending on him, right? Just put yourself in his shoes for a second. I think he probably got about 10 brothers and sisters, right? He the youngest, but I'm sure he's the richest out of the family. And think about how people depend on you when you have all the money, or when you have money, period. And by him being a big name, and on top of that, he has that on his shoulders. Then he has the fact that he came out being a first round draft pick on his shoulders. And, the weight of just trying not to mess up on his shoulders is a huge responsibility. And as soon as you do bad, people be ready to get rid of you. As soon as you make one more false move, yeah, we should have never drafted him. What? Bruh. Everybody has their ups and everybody has their downs, especially in the NFL. It's people that can't even get their career together because they keep getting injured. It's a lot of people like that. And it's good that Kendall Fuller is there in his corner. Jeremy Reeves is in his corner. Even Quan Martin, he going through the same struggles that Emmanuel Forbes is going through, but it's not the same. It's not the same expectations because he wasn't a first round draft pick, but he still got some of the same expectations. We expect him to do good. We expect him to go off. We expect our defense to be different. And we got a lot of expectations just because of the past years that we've been with Jack Del Rio. We expect him to continue to stay the same. But in reality, you got a new group of guys. In reality, you got people who want to do their own thing. And think about Emmanuel Forbes. We brought him in to be that guy that can create turnovers. We wanted more turnovers. And think about that. He knows that y'all brought me in to create more turnovers. So in my mind, I'm going turnover first. Like, you remember how Stephon, is it Stephon Diggs? No, Trayvon Diggs. He came into the league in his first year. He had 11 interceptions, right? Everybody was going crazy. But then everybody was thinking about how many yards he gave up, how many touchdowns he gave up. I mean, just what he gave up, the risk that year, the huge risk he had that year. I think it was his second year when he went off. But I'm just thinking, like, how many risk he had to take to make that happen. And that's what probably Emmanuel Forbes is thinking. He's thinking, yo, I got to make this a big play. Every play in his head is, I got to make this a big play. He's probably not thinking, yo, let me just be mediocre and just make a stop. He's probably trying to make a big play, make a turnover. And that's his mentality. And that's probably always been his mentality. And, I think we just probably didn't see that when we drafted him. But, I don't see nothing wrong with him. I think he's a good fit. He's already starting. And that tells me that he understands how to play on defense for Jack Del Rio. Like, he understands it. He knows how to understand the lingo and all that. But what it seems like to me, just by watching him, it seems like he's just so focused on creating turnovers that he's not focused on just making a stop. Right? He's not focused on get the tackle. If you can't stop the pass, get the tackle. And the more tackles he missed, the more pass deflections he missed, you can see his confidence is going down. But that's where the other veteran cornerbacks come into play. Like, Kendall Fuller went through the same thing in that same exact game. He let up a touchdown. And what he had to do, he had to come back and continue to play. He do great things, but the thing is, in the NFL, you can't let that get you too high. You can't let them little, not even little, but you can't let situations like that. When you're doing good, just accept it and continue to do good. You can't let yourself get too high or too low. Too low, you're not going to play this game anymore. Too high, you're going to think you're better than everybody, and then you're going to, lower your expectations for everybody else. And it's like, where he going, somebody going to show you up, like A.J. Brown. Like, I understand when you come into the league, you got to prove yourself, but you got to be respectful of everybody else. And sometimes that's some people's technique. They talk trash to you, and try to throw you off your game. But if you're a veteran, you've been in the game for years and you've been doing a great job, and you telling me, like, year after year you've been in that 1,000-yard mark or you've been to the Pro Bowl, bruh, it's nothing I can do at this point. You've already established yourself. A.J. Brown is one of them people that have established themselves to the point where he understands how to work under pressure. He knows how to make big plays, bro. You've been to the Super Bowl. That means you know how to play well in the playoffs. You know how to keep your composure. You know how to stay focused. So me talking to you or just trying to throw you off your game, It's not gonna do anything for me. What I have to do is stay focused on my game, and that's what Emmanuel Forbes has to do, and he has to build up his confidence, and he got the people in his corner to do that. And you could tell this game against the Eagles. I said the Eagles. This game against the Bears. They changed it up. They took him out the formula. Like, they had my boy on the sideline in the beginning, and they put Percy Butler in, and they had played 2 safeties. You know what I'm saying? So it was a real different formula they had this game, and I think he needed that because he was too high on his pedestal, and he wasn't. And I think when you too high, you think you can't do no wrong, and you think everybody is on your side. And in reality, they only on your side until you mess up. And I think Forbes needed to start at the bottom again. I think he needed to understand you can be a regular. You can be a sideline. You can be one of them. You can be a water boy. So you got to stay focused. You got to keep yourself leveled. And it's a difficult game to play, but man, if you don't keep your feelings in check, people can get you, bruh. And one great way of him doing that is by cutting off the Twitter or the X or whatever you want to call that thing, and stay focused, bruh. I want to see him do great, bruh. He was doing great. He just can't keep going for the big plays, bruh. Stay focused. Just try to let the plays come to you. You know what I'm saying? Let them come to you. If it ain't it, it just ain't it. Like, you see how the play when he went against the Broncos? That was just a misplay that turned into a great play. Wilson threw it up, and he jumped it, and he got it. But it was like, bro, you can see that happening. He's seen that coming. But it's not always going to be that easy. It's not going to always be that easy. And that might have happened in the second game, but, bro, you still got a long way to go. And I want to see him do great. And, you know, everybody was comparing him to Darrelle Revis. I said Darrelle Revis. My bad. I can't even remember his name. But they was comparing him to, they was hoping that he becomes the Commanders cornerback we had back in the day that always kept going to the Pro Bowl. And he played up to like he was 40. I forgot his name. And I talk about him all the time. He a great player. One of the best. And, bruh, it was like people was comparing him to him, but if he can't keep himself focused, you're not gonna make it in this game. And, man, I just appreciate y'all for making it this far in the video, man. Definitely subscribe to the channel. And if you feel like you want to, you know, help a brother out, I'm trying to make it out this car. And I'm trying, you know, level up. And I greatly appreciate the donations if you decided to donate. The donation button is at the bottom of the video. It's a money sign with a heart in it, I think. It's right to your right at the bottom. I got you. If you feel like donating, go ahead, man. I appreciate it. And I'm definitely going to hit y'all back. And I'm going to go up this weekend. We're going to have a lot of videos.